Hello everyone, my name is Bill Dunn. I'm a McCracken County PVA, and in this Qpublic video I'm going to discuss how to use our Qpublic website to search for property. There's three different ways of searching for properties on our website. You can search by name, you can search by address, and you can search by the map number. The map number, aka the parcel number, is a unique identifier assigned to each property in our database. It's typically 3 digits, 2 digits, 2 digits, and followed by 3 digits. Sometimes there are more digits after that, but I'll show you an example of those here in just a few minutes. So when people visit our office, we have two public terminals that people can use to look up properties using these two terminals, and you'll see these these cheat notes hanging up above the terminals to help people find property. So when you're searching by name, all of the names in our database are entered last name, first name, and if there's more names than that, it'll be separated with an ampersand sign, and then it'll have the other person's first name. So for example, if a property is owned by a man and wife, let's say their names are Bob and June Smith, then the name would be entered Smith space Bob ampersand June, and that's if the deed lists Bob first. So if it's a company name, it will be listed exactly as it is in the deed, which will usually be the proper name of the company. There will be no first name last name situation for a company name. And you can see here the second item on this list is owner names are not case sensitive. So the database, whether you put Bob in capital letters, small letters, or mixed, it's going to come up with Bob. It's not going to matter if you put in an uppercase or a lowercase. The line 3 here is if you were to search by, if you're looking for someone and you don't know the spelling of their first name, you're not sure what their first name is. Sometimes people don't use their first name, they use their middle name. What you're going to be finding here is that if someone, sometimes people, they use their legal name, their first name, middle name, last name. Some people, for legal purposes, will use an abbreviation for their middle name. For example, my wife, there are 2 people in this community with her and another person with that name. If they don't use their middle name or their middle initial or their marital maiden name, then you would never know which one's which. So if you were to search by, if you type in last name first in what I'm about to show you, it will show you everybody. And it helps if you know more of their name. So then to search for a person's full name, you would just put in their last name, first name, and usually that's all you need. This wild card here, this doesn't necessarily apply that often, but it's a wild card if you need it. And also what I'm going to show you here in a minute, if you're searching by address, these are some of the rules that if you don't understand, you're going to have a hard time finding properties in our database. So all street names are spelled out. For example, except Lovelessville Florence Station Road, because it's a long one. We abbreviate it to Love Flow Stay, and street names are not case sensitive in our software. So if you're looking up North 5th Street, it will be North F or 5TH Street. As this example here is similar, all numbered streets names use a suffix. So 21st Street is in our database. You're going to look up 21 ST Street, and if it's North 21st Street or South 21st Street, you put a North and then 21st Street as this is spelled here. If you don't necessarily know the name of the street, you can just enter the number, and it will show you all the properties in the county that have that house number. And enter the street name and then select the address. If you're not sure what the house number is, you can just enter the street, and it will show you all the properties on that street. So let's move on here. All right, so the example I mentioned a while ago was last name, first name. So I hate using specific examples of people here in McCracken County, so I'm just going to use McCracken. So I'm just going to type in McCracken, and you can see these hints, these tips, these options come up as you're typing. Excuse me. So it's going to come up. Here's a company named Barrett McCracken Realty LLC. That was a match because it has McCracken in the name. The Board of Education of McCracken County, Kentucky came up. Some property owned by County of McCracken. Sometimes when these government entities, when they buy property, they don't always put it in the same name. So that's why you see County of McCracken, and then you've got County of McCracken, Kentucky, and then there's just McCracken, and then there's McCracken County Fiscal Court. We enter it as it was entered in the deed. And as you can see here, here's a person named with the last name of McCracken, and it highlights McCracken in each one of these. If I were to change this and type in Smith, then it comes up with everybody who has Smith in the legal name. That only shows a few tips here, but there are actually many more than what you see here. If I just leave it Smith and I type and I hit search, here is a list. Now this is an abbreviated list. If you want a more detailed list, you scroll further down. And you don't see this list if you're logged in. You can see up here, I'm using the free version of the site. If I was logged in, this would not display. You would actually see this list here. So this is everybody, and this may not even be everybody. It says 418. I think that is everybody. So this is everybody that has Smith in their name. There's Jim Smith Contracting, some individuals named Smith, and so forth and so forth. And if you're logged in, actually anybody can click on one of these map numbers over here. This is the map number, as I mentioned earlier. The map numbers are 3 digits, 2 digits, 2 digits, 3 digits. And sometimes they can be longer than that. For example, here, this one has a .45 on the end, which usually means that's part of a subdivision, and it's probably lot 45. Or here's a legal description, that L45, that goes with that 45. This L45 means lot 45. So if you were to click on one of these, you could see the property record or part of it. If you have to log in to see some of this information, and some of this is available at no cost. But I'm going to go back to the search page. So we talked about last name, first name. Names are not case sensitive. I get the exact same list if I type in Smith in all small letters. The other thing we talked about was to search for a last name, just enter okay, we did that. And let's say I don't know the last name, all I know is their first name. I could probably put in, let's say it's Bobby with an IE. I just typed in Bobby. It came up with everybody whose property record has Bobby with an IE. And if I hit search over here, here's everybody with a Bobby with an IE in their property record. And when I say property record, this 99% of the time, this will be what the deed has. This is what the legal document, that being the deed, has for the owner of that property. So, and again, this is the list that you see, the more detailed list, and this is, you usually don't see this section up here if you're logged in. As you can see there, I'm not logged in. So let's see what else we can get into here. I've got a few tips up here above this. This section here rotates between different banners to help people. So I've got property owner names are entered with the last name followed by the first name. We discussed that. Owner names are not case sensitive. We discussed that. Owner names are entered exactly as specified in the deed. Mentioned that. Don't know a first name, just enter the last name and then search through the list. We've done that. If you only know one owner name, say for example there's a man and a wife on it, you only know, say, the wife's name, you can enter her name on here, and you can probably find it that way. I think that's about it with the searching by owner name field. And same similar type thing with the company name. If you know a portion of the company name, you could enter it up here, and you should be able to find it just by clicking search. So let's go to the location address. So this is the next step here. It's got an exact name match here. I don't think many people tend to use that. That makes it more difficult. Although if you're looking for a specific address and you're getting lots and lots of possible matches, then you may want to check that. But most people tend not to use that. And there's an example underneath it here. It says enter the address and the range. You can do that. I don't think many people use that either. If you want to bring up a range of properties, say a block on a street, then you can enter that example they've got right there, and that'll bring up several properties on that street. So one of the things I mentioned was none of the street names are abbreviated in our database. For example, our address here is 621 Washington Street, and again, it's not case sensitive. We put everything in capital letters in our database, but when you're using this website, you do not have to enter it in capital letters. If I put in 621 Washington Street, the only one that has 621 Wash in our database is 621 Washington, so it knows it's already found the property. And I don't have to click on that. I can just click search, and it will bring up that one property record. Because there's only one match, it knows exactly which one I'm referring to. So I'm going to click back here. Now let's say I'm looking for properties on North 8th Street and I don't know the house number. I'm just going to type in North. Now one of the things I'll point out here is by postal service standards, they tend to use like an N for North. We don't do that. If you want to properly search our database, you're going to have to type out North. And if I just type in North 8th, let's say I'm looking for a property that someone lives on North 8th, I don't know their house number, I can go to type in North 8th, I can click search, and this will come up with all the properties on North 8th Street. And you can look through this and try and find the owner's name. So you can sort these columns here. Now it's sorted by owner name, A at the beginning, and then the B's and so forth downward. Or I can sort by property address and class and other options here. So I'm going to go back one. That Lovelessville Florence Station Road example that I gave, if I just type in Love Flow, there it is right there. You can see the properties on Lovelessville's Florence Station Road, and there's a few of them. I'm going to hit search, and it's going to come up with all the properties on Lovelessville Florence Station Road. And you can see some of these are west, most of them are west, and These properties here that don't have a number, these are probably farms that don't have an address. When I mean they don't have an address, they're probably farms that don't have a house. That's what I mean. Some of these are west and some of these are east. And like I said, I believe that's the only road in McCracken County that we abbreviate. And down here's more detail of all those houses right here. And here I have sorted by property address, so it starts at 150, goes to 158, 160, and so forth. You can see that. And let's see what else we can find here. So we've covered the STs and the THs. Let's say you're looking for a house on 8th Street. You have to enter the TH. If you say it's just 8th Street, it may find it, but there's a possibility that it won't find it because you're leaving off the TH. So let's see, for the addresses, Lovelessville, Florence Station Road, the numbers, addresses, the STs and the THs. If you just know someone's house number, you can enter the house number if you're not sure about the street, and it'll come up with all the properties that have the house number. The 621 is our address here at the PVA office, and of course this here is also just a short list. If you want the full list, click search, and here's all the addresses in the county that start with 621. Some of these you see here is 6215 Blandville. It has 621 at the beginning of it, so you may get a few more matches than what you expected. And let's see, one more thing. Street name, select the address. There's another example. If I just type in Hinkleville, it finds various addresses on Hinkleville Road. And kind of a related topic, roads roads anywhere. Say for example, you're driving from the south side of Paducah at say Walmart on the south side, and you drive to the Walmart at the mall, and let's say you drive through downtown. So Walmart on the south side, you're going to start on what's called Wayne Sullivan Drive or the I-24 business loop, but in our database we're going to call it Wayne Sullivan Drive. Sometimes it's called South 4th Street, depending on if you get close to town, or South 3rd Street. Then when you pass through downtown, when you get to the convention center area, it's going to change into Park Avenue. It's Park Avenue if you're going toward the mall. If you're going away from the mall, it's going to be called Martin Luther King. So, and then when you get out to, I think it's 21st Street, close to McNabb, the roads come back together and it's called Park Avenue. And then I don't know exactly where it changes, but at some point it's going to change from Park Avenue into Hinkleville Road. And it's going to be Hinkleville Road out past close to Menards, I believe, and then it's going to change into the state road name. So anyway, have to be careful of the road name, even though it's the same physical road. The road changes names depending on what part of the city or town or county you're in. So, all right, the map number is the last thing I'm going to discuss here. So a map number, let me bring up the map number for the office here. So our map number, like I said, a map number is our unique identifier that identifies every property in the county. And well, I don't see the map number on here. Well, we've all, okay. Well, this isn't really what I wanted to show, but there is our map number. This is on the property card, 112-14-11-8. It's got 3 digits, 2 digits, 2 digits, and then 3 digits. What I was looking for was the, I guess I have to log in to get it. It would be up here near the top. And it's not showing that here because it's password protected. I'm not logged in. So 3 digits, 2 digits, 2 digits, 3 digits. So if you know the map number, you can type it in here. And here are some examples. These examples, this may not be very useful, but as you type, it's going to reduce the number of options in this list. And if there's not a valid number there, if that map number doesn't exist, it's going to show you that number simply doesn't exist. Now, this is a little harder to explain, but at the end of these map numbers, for example, you see here 112.00.00.001. I mentioned earlier, for example, this one has a suffix of .01. So that means that property was split at one point. Part of that property, we will leave the main map number that ends with the 001. But part of the new property that was split, we'll call it a .01. If it's a subdivision, like I mentioned earlier, then if there's 25 subdivisions, then there will be probably 25 of these suffixes here. There'll be a .01, a .02, .03, all the way up to .25. And usually what we do is lot 25, we'll make it .25 to make it simple. And then we'll put the lot number over here in the legal description. Of course, this is not a good example for that. So, and if it's a condo, let me see if I can find a condo here just with let me see what this is. It's got a PS on the end of it. Okay, so this looks like City Hall, actually. The PS probably means, in this case, public service, or it's a public building. And I was thinking if I put in maybe you can't put in the suffixes in this to find condos and mobile homes and things like that. I was thinking you could, but I don't see that working here. Some of the other suffixes we have are M's or ML's. So if a property has a map number of this right here, and then it's got a dot M or not a dot, there's just an M at the end of it, or it may say ML, and then it's got a number like ML 102 or 10 or 5. That would be a mobile home lot. That's what the ML is, mobile home lot. And the M, if it's just an M, that tends to refer to just the mobile home, meaning no land, just a mobile home. So there's a lot to this. I think that covers it pretty good. If you have any questions about anything I've discussed here, feel free to call or email me. Our door is always open down here at the PVA office. We're always eager to take suggestions, even though we're kind of limited in what we can and can't do with our software. Sometimes we want to add great things to our software to make it easier for the public to use, and our software vendor is only able to accommodate some of those features that we would like to add. So if you have any questions, feel free to call, email, come by the office. Thank you very much.